Well, as world leaders lined up to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping over the past week, with most countries, including Australia, reporting constructive and convivial discussions, a House Homeland Security Committee in Washington heard additional evidence of China's expansive hacking program through apps such as TikTok. FBI Director Christopher Wray testified that even more personal and business data from users worldwide has been stolen by Chinese tech companies recently. While users of apps such as TikTok have every reason to be concerned, the issue was not raised in any of those meetings with the Chinese president. To discuss the developments and Anthony Albanese's breakthrough meeting with Xi, I'm joined now by the chair of the Liberal Party's Defence and National Security Policy Branch, Lincoln Parker. Thank you very much for coming in, mate.
Thanks, Chris.
Good to see you again. We suspected the Chinese were hacking through TikTok. That's not in dispute. But the FBI director had more information to share, including the extent of China's hacking program.
Well, he did, Chris. So last week when he testified to Congress, he said that TikTok is relentlessly harvesting data and manipulating opinions. He also noted that TikTok now monitors over 1 billion users worldwide and that they're able to create opinions and effectively run influence operations against those users. And I think what we need to keep in mind is that in 2017, the Chinese government passed their national intelligence law. And what that did is it said to every Chinese entity, no matter where you're operating, that you must share intelligence information and data back to China. And it has been proven that TikTok does indeed comply with that law, no matter where it operates.
That was just simply hacking legislation.
That's what the Chinese government do. They run political warfare, information warfare and influence operations. Everything that they can do to get an advantage over the West, they will do.
Why wouldn't this issue, given how expansive hacking is on corporate servers right around the world right now, why wouldn't this have been raised by Biden, Albanese, Macron or even Trudeau?
Well, it's certainly being raised by, as you said, the FBI Director Wray, and it was also raised by the Commissioner of the US FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commission, who also testified last week to Congress. And in fact, we're seeing that maybe even Joe Biden did raise that, but we're not entirely sure whether that was made public.
He certainly hasn't mentioned that.
It hasn't come out in public, but it is something that the Americans are taking very seriously.
OK, so some are calling this information we're getting through this hearing during the week as a reason for banning TikTok outright. Firstly, how would you do that? And do you think that's on the cards?
Well, we saw India do it. So India banned TikTok along with 58 other Chinese apps across India. So it certainly can be done. And when you think about what TikTok is able to do, they're able to monitor the keystrokes of users. So therefore, they can see what passwords are, credit card information, and also build a profile of what you're doing on other websites. So that's how insidious this app is. It's really a wolf in sheep's clothing.
So parents, if they've got any say over their children, should be telling their kids or whoever's on TikTok to get off it, shut it down.
I would get off it. I don't use it. I would get your kids off it because teens are the most users worldwide. Get off it. If you're a business, get off it. If you work in government, defence, media, anywhere where you don't want your life to be hacked, get off it.
All right. As I discussed this time last week, Anthony Albanese almost shot himself in the foot before he went to these summits. And he's done a very good job getting back on the list for a meeting with Xi Jinping. Some are saying this needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Nothing much has been achieved. Others are suggesting that maybe after the Communist Party Congress early November, this is the new Xi Jinping. He does want friends in his scope of influence at the moment.
Oh, look, Xi is the master manipulator. He is doing what is good for Xi and what is good for the Chinese Communist Party, and that's it. So he will go out and he will say and do whatever it takes, whether it is an outright lie or not, to put himself and the Communist Party of China in the strongest possible position. Now, he's already seen countries like the United States and indeed even Australia trying to decouple from China, trying to go with India. And so that's worrying him. He's also worried that the world might be preparing for his invasion against Taiwan. And so I guess he's just trying to muddy the waters a little bit and do what he does best.
Handle him with care?
Yeah, just a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lincoln Parker, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.